Right into it. I'm playing 2 different standard tournaments this weekend, and I think I'm playing this in at least one of them. So this is Blue-Black Flash Mutate. So the Flash sub-theme is powered by Slitherwisp here. So whenever you play another spell that has Flash, each opponent gets loses a life, and you get to draw a card. And then Sea-Dasher Octopus is our other source of card advantage here. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So we got a couple other mutators here, Dirge Bat, as well as Pouncing Shoreshark. And one of the things that you often do with this deck is you'll play Dirge Bat out here as a 4-drop, and then you combine this with Sea-Dasher or Pouncing Shoreshark in order to get you more efficient ways to destroy a Planeswalker or a creature an opponent controls, rather than paying 6 mana to mutate this. We've got some things like Threnody Singer and Heartless Act down here to have some game against the aggressive decks to start. And then we've got a plethora of counterspells here in the main deck to be disruptive against some of the bigger decks in the format. We've got Omen of the Sea to tie the room together and help us find the cards we're looking for a little bit more consistently. So we played this deck a few times last week, and it felt really good. So I'm pretty sure that this deck is reasonable. I'm excited to play some more games with it today and some more repetitions in, huh? Hey, Greeny T, thank you for the 3 entire years of support. Welcome back. Good morning. I completely understand, Windowhead. Breaks are good. I appreciate the 2 years, and we'll be around whenever you mosey on back. There's a lot of great games out there. I hope you still get to enjoy some of the other ones. Opponent is playing Kruga Macro Sage. What on God's green earth does that mean? I guess we'll keep these. Threnody Singer's probably not very good. So Kruga was a thing at the very start of the companion season. Your deck can't have things that cost 3 or more. So probably Bone Crusher Giants in our future. Things like Brazen Borrower and Bone Crusher Giant kind of let them work around that restriction. Jwari Disruption is probably very good against the deck full of expensive things. Yeah, back when Fires was legal. We're gonna see them foretell a card here, I imagine. Yep. Think I want to just bounce this. Now let's get my card advantage going. Let's play this tapped, and let's put Sea-Dasher on here. I'm gonna put this under so that way it can't get stumped. Oh, you know what? I should probably draw a card before I play my land, because now that I drew a 5th land, I kind of don't want to do this. Who's sponsoring the Rintier segment? Sponsored by Prime Gaming via the Twitch bounty board. I think our deck is a very reasonable Sultai matchup, so it does not surprise me to hear that you bested Sultai. Hey, thanks for the 2 months, Sherwood Archer. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good old trusty Dusty for the 7 months. I appreciate it. You know, I don't know what large creatures to expect out of them. It could be right to just counter this. It could also be right to just Omen of the Sea here. I think I'm just gonna Omen. Go dig in for Disdainful Strokes and more Negates. Yeah, these are actually just perfect. Chris, thank you for the 26 months. Welcome back. Slitherwisp turns Sea Ordain into a Divination. Alright, feeling like we're in a pretty good spot here. I'm doing well, Packers. Wake the trolls. Are you? Oh, God. Come on, Magic Arena. Well, I was doing really well, and then Magic Arena happened. We're probably still fine. We're much less fine than I was a second ago. Thanks for the 22 months, Crimson. Welcome back. Hey, Bombs, thanks for the third of a year. Alright, sweet, didn't matter. You love to see it. Strokes and Negates and probably Disputes. Really know what this opponent is doing. Normally against Control, we trim the Singers and the Heartless Acts, but they've got Lovestruck Beast at a minimum in their deck, so I feel like I'm in the market for keeping Heartless Acts. I'll leave 2X, and I think. See, we'll see how this goes. We do still have Dirge Bat and Pouncing Shoreshark to interact with Lovestruck Beast a little bit. We have Brazen Borrower to bounce their 1/1 tokens as well. We know for a fact that our opponent's not playing Innkeeper because they're playing Kruga Macro Sage as their companion. This is fine. How do you sideboard against the cycling deck? You take out the bad cards and you put in the good ones. Negates are the only counter spells you want there. You want a couple of Negates to not die to their, what's it called, cards, ideally. And then you want spot removal to not die to their Zenith Flares. Then you want spot removal to not die to their early creature plays. You go back and actually, if you go back and watch the content we played against cycling at one point, you can watch me sideboard there. I don't know if it was this exact latest list, but... yeah, like here, this Lovestruck Beast could run away with the game. Man, opponent just like no fear. Like ran this into that 1-3 last game. It's the Honey Badger who don't care. We could just die. We could just die to this. It's possible I want more Heartless Acts in my deck. It's also possible on the draw it's less important. Morning squared. So I think the play for next turn is probably attack. They don't block. We slide Sea-Dasher Octopus onto this. Draw a couple of cards. Grab a second blue here. Make sure we double check the auto tapper like we should be. What are lands? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Malakir, yep. We could get stomped on here, but I need to hit some land drops. Alright, and there's a Heartless Act, so... I think we're playing this out on blue. Okay. Deny our card draw. Okay, so... I think we're just Pouncing Shoresharking onto here again, right? This lets me bounce this and this. They can drop Pelucranos now and fight. No, they don't have double black. They don't have double black. I can also, if they play a second black land, I can mutate Sea-Dasher in response and trigger Pouncing Shoreshark twice. We've created a monster. Nobody wants to see monster no more. They want Shoreshark. They're chopped liver. Just endless cards here. The mutate machine is up and running. Chat. How deep is our mutate pile? We've got a couple of mutations. Discard 2 cards. The shark's DNA is slightly off, something like that. Hey, what's going on, Faithless Looting? For the 3/4 of a year, I appreciate it. What if we didn't do that? I think this deck's super playable, Conqueror. This is our if you didn't catch our streams last week, this is the 3rd or 4th time we've played this archetype. I'm pretty sure I'm playing two standard tournaments this weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and I'm pretty sure I'm playing both, or playing this, and I'm playing this in at least one of them, maybe both. If the only reason I don't play it in both will be because the Runestorm deck is also great, and I want to play that as well. Have we changed much the very first version look from? We're very different from the list we started on the first day. So yeah, if you saw the very first list we played, we're fairly different from that. Bottom the Negate might be wrong. Oh, we're on the draw. Thought we were going first. It's a great pickup. Lead on Passage here. We don't have one drop. Fetch ourselves a Swamp. Heartless Act's a good draw, because we can do that on 2 now. I think I want to hold this for a spell, potentially. This lets us save a Slitherwisp should it be about to die. They passed right through our turn there, so it doesn't feel like they have a Bone Crusher Giant. It's a great draw. Super happy we saved that to be a spell now. Ankle A. I think I'm actually going to Murky Pathwater here on black so I can hold up Malakir Rebirth. So when you Malakir Rebirth a Mutate stack, you get the entire stack, all of the creatures come back into play separately. That's how it works out. Am I Dirge Batting or no? I think I'm just Slitherwisping. Could be wrong. Yeah, when you do this, the entire pile comes back, and they come back separately. Is 100% how that works. If they have second dragon or second rankle, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Fucking hate this card so much. It's so annoying. I don't know, so like, if I mutate the shark on top, I don't have the shark to mutate. I don't have the shark to mutate on the bat to kill the dragon down the line, is the problem. And they can recast the dragon here off the treasure. If they Malakir and sack it, I would, yeah, I don't know if that's correct. This is a good draw, at least. Malakir Rebirth would put it back into play under our control. I don't know if that's the correct play though, because like being able to protect and bring this back seems valuable today. Yeah. The first hour I do Rune Chariot Sale will be sponsored by the Twitch Bounty Board. So if you want an easy way to support my content, just hang out through the end of that. Do I want to proactively Sea-Dasher kill the gold span? I think so. And then if I draw land, I can... If I draw a land, I can still Pouncing Shoreshark, and if I don't draw a land, I can Brazen Borrower another dragon. I could be right to just play this out at this point. Yes, yes, Hidden Flame. And so they need 2 removal spells to kill us here. Because if they kill the Dirge Bat in response to the Mutate, so I don't get the Destroy trigger, the Pouncing Shoreshark just comes into play. We could die here, but it's also unlikely. We could just get double stomped. We are at 3. Hey, Braveheart Lion, thanks for the 15 months. Welcome back. So, this is an easy Tibalt kill. And then the question is, how greedy do I want to be? I think I'm just passing. I think I need to hold this up in case they have another Haste Flyer. The Cronin War, sure. We're actually bottoming both of these, right? They can mutate my creatures on top of my creatures, that is correct. Yeah, I'm definitely in for another removal spell here. Should they do that? Brazen Borrower picks the whole stack up though, so like... It sucks in historic and it sucks in standard, chat. It just never doesn't feel bad. It's just an exhausting mechanic. I don't even know that it's good in standard. It's just exhausting. No, I'd encourage you to go read what Mutate says if you don't know what it says. You may cast a spell for its Mutate cost to put it under. Is that the right text? You mutate. You may put it over under target non-human creature you own. That's not the text. That's wrong. Because they can't mutate on non-human creatures that they own. Yeah, Arena does not have the text from the comprehensive rules. The reminder text here is incorrect. Arena handles it mechanically well. So basically the TLDR on mutate is that the rules of what could mutate onto what make it so you can never have creatures in a mutate stack from two different owners because they don't want it to be possible for when the pile's being bounced for cards you don't own to end up in your hand. So this reminder text here is actually wrong. Or it doesn't explain the details fully, is probably a better descriptor. Does not have the comprehensive mutate text there. We're looking for more Slitherwisps at this point. This is definitely a matchup where 4 negates are going to be absurd. Probably 4 strokes, too. This is exactly what we want for Christmas. It was a lot of life to draw a card, chat. Greatness at any cost. It could be right to wait a turn or two so that way I can play 2 flash spells after I play this. Wow, do they not have another piece of removal for this? Are they dead? Wow, they're dead. They can't have any way to gain life, right? Does red-black have a way to gain life? I just cast 2 spells and kill them here, right? Alright, yep. I can't believe we won that game. I thought for sure we were going to lose to that Tibalt. That was impressive. So I definitely don't want Singer. I want my Negates and my Strokes. I think we're leaving in the Heartless Acts because they're on Dragons and Wrinkles. Hey, Chase, welcome back to the channel. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, the fact that they, like, felt confident enough to dome themselves for 6 was something. Listen, chat, I take no responsibility for your low win rate if you craft this deck and try and play it at home. I am a trained professional who has been playing shitty underpowered flash decks for a decade, so your results at home may vary. What you're witnessing on your screen is a trained professional. Yeah, this is fine. Gregor Watts, thanks for the follow. I listened to you while I work, and I unfollowed you. You know, I thought I had seen your username in chat recently, but I've had a lot of people who were following previously unfollow and refollow because during my magic break. So good to have you here, Chase. Dealer's choice, 2 pair. Poker face, poker face. My. Slitherwisp with Omen, Red Omen, and Ember Cleaves. I don't think our mana is good enough in Standard for that, unfortunately. Thanks for the 28-month Storm Cooper. Welcome back. Honestly, I think I'm just bottomings up here. We're like looking for lands and threats, and those are neither of those two things. Thanks for the 28 months. Rankle. I think we Heartless Act this one. Because I can't Heartless Act a... I think we gotta gamble here. We have 3 chances. I'm gonna bottom the Rebirth for now. We can't stroke like in a Cronin War. We can't Heartless Act like in a Cronin War or something, and if we stroke a dragon, they don't get a treasure, which is nice. Hey, James, thanks for the sub gift. Thanks. I'm not sure if I'm playing this deck or the other one on Sunday yet. You'll sit on a throne of lies. So this is a 2-for-2. Borrower and Negate for Valky Village Rights. I think that's a good exchange for us. Nah, the Godzilla Bat artwork looks super out of place with my rest of the deck that's borderless. Yeah, actually, just looking for another land here. So what the land sets me up to do is Slitherwisp plus Sea-Dasher Octopus in the same turn. So you'll note in these attrition-based matchups like this, I'm prioritizing always getting a card draw out of my Slitherwisp before it dies. So I'm expecting my Slitherwisp to eat a piece of removal the turn I play it. But if I draw a card with it before it eats a piece of removal, that generates me a 2-for-1. So, not expecting this to live, but maybe they don't have 2 pieces of removal here, and then Sea-Dasher Octopus gets to live and draw a card. Or they Soul Shatter again. You know, honestly, based on the context of my hand, I think I'd rather lose the Slitherwisp than the Octopus. They know I have 2 strokes. I could greed the bat, couldn't I? Yeah, let's do it. Because if they have another way to kill this, I get to get Malakir Rebirth it, right? Perfect. Gilded, thank you for the 14 months. Welcome back. Yeah! Yeah, get out of here, red-black mid-range. Get mutated. That was sweet. Yeah, I really, the what's it called? The gifts of Malakir have been lovely. Those felt like the last piece of the puzzle I was looking for in this deck. Really like this 75 that we have. You know, I don't know that I can play more than 2 rebirths. Like the life cost from it is very real, but the two toppies that we're playing are quite phenomenal. Obosh the Prey Piercer. So, am I keeping this hand against Teamer Adventurers? I guess. Sea-Dasher's a good pickup. I think this is a land at this point. I definitely need 4 lands. Hopefully they, like, make a 1/1 here, and then we get to eat it with our trap card on 3. I'm gonna throw a what's it called into the foretell zone here. Really not super exciting. I could have been right to mulligan this hand to the fact that they were showing Prey Piercer. This is a card that comes out in this matchup for sure. And again, we want to mutate under the Singer against the Bone Crusher Giant deck. Don't get stepped on, chat. Things when you're mutating, you want to think about how much toughness you're leaving your creature with. You want to think about converted mana cost against some things. You want to think about how much power you have. For example, against what's it called decks? Against, oh, I'm blanking on the name. Against the Giant Slayer decks, you want to mutate under with Shark, so you dodge Giant Slayer. Yeah, that's the one. Chat gets me. I think I'm starting with Mono Shurima Talia for Runeterra. I think we gotta kill the Innkeeper here. There's also a question of, do I also want to kill a Bone Crusher Giant? To which I think the answer is yes. Because this could be a Sot coming. So like I don't want to like try and Heartless Act that next turn and then get counterspelled. Goldspan Dragon's a pretty big punishment. I mean, to be fair, the Mono Shurima deck we're gonna play with Talia is pretty different than, like, we're not playing like a Buried Sun Disc deck. We're dead here. Matchup seems tough. I'm not sure exactly how I want to sideboard. They have... I definitely want to take the Singers out because their stat line. This card is basically exclusively here for the red and white aggro matchups. Anything aggressive with little creatures. I don't know exactly what angle I want to approach my answers from here. I think Stroke's an easy in, is it? Like, Stroke misses all of their adventure stuff. Like, I get that they played a dragon and they have Obosh, but, like, I don't think that Stroke is an easy in. I think at most I want 3 of them. I think there's a good chance I want some deadweights. No, I don't think we need a faster clock. We're basically a control deck. We're not an aggro deck. If you want to play an aggro deck and race people with an aggro deck, play something else. We're not going to trigger Fairy Vandal super consistently. Our deck is a 1 spell per turn deck, generally speaking. I think we're just going to do that. Also, like, this Innkeeper deck specifically is very different than, like, the Naya deck. The fact that they get to play Brazen Borrower changes the dynamic a good bit. Seems doesn't really do anything, right? Seems to draw some black sources, but it's got an Omen of the Sea. So can you explain your thought process there? The incidental life gain is good against big creatures for you. Can you explain how incidental life gain is good against things that are killing me in chunks? Because I don't understand. That's not logically consistent. Quite the opposite. The life gain from Erebos and small amounts of life gain tend to be only good against games of inches, not games of miles. Like these Innkeeper decks are putting big things into play that are killing us in chunks. We can't keep up with their card advantage. Well, the idea is you kill or counter their card advantage, and don't let them have it. I have Vandal in my version of this deck, and so the Singers. Peak Twitch chat is taking a deck that I have built to respect aggro and cutting the cards that allow you to respect aggro for other greedy cards. So you're on point. You're in character, Bluefire, if you cut the card that lets you not die in a blaze to aggro and added a card that's not good against aggro. As someone who's been building decks for a long time, the number one question I always get from people whenever I do well with the deck in a tournament, they're like, well, how do you beat the aggressive deck? And it's always like, well, you cut cards from my deck before you played it, didn't you? They're like, well, how'd you know? And it's like, well, you see, people hate respecting aggro, so they cut cards that respect aggro. Sure, so like, but what you're doing there, Hidden Flame, is playing cards that are just like metagamey against Aphelios, Fizz, and Twisted Fate aren't going to be very good because there's going to be plenty of people playing lots of different things. Like, just play good cards. Rix, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. I'm going to do a sideboard guide for this deck. I definitely could. is a thing I am capable of doing. Wish I had a negate instead of these strokes here. I'm gonna step on my Slitherwisp and make me feel bad. Cast a Great Henge. Do it. Sure, so like, this is why it's good to describe your thought process, Rebel. So like, what you're describing there, it's good to have a way to kill Innkeepers early that allows me to have Heartless Acts for dragons later. So by that description, Eliminate is much better, because Eliminate kills Lovestruck Beast and Bone Crusher Giant early for you, while not being a dead card otherwise, when they don't have exactly this. So I would believe that we potentially want more removal in the deck in this matchup, but I think Erebos' Intervention is definitely not the right choice of removal. You want Soul Shatter? I don't really know that my 4X Disdainful Stroke deck needs extra hedges against Goldspan Dragon. Again, I'd much rather respect the aggressive decks. I know that like Twitch chat has a hard time seeing past this current game that I'm playing where I'm about to lose to Teamer Adventures, but these more mid-rangey matchups are definitely less hard than the aggressive matchups. So we are in fact dead here, and I would believe that we could maybe use some more cheap removal. Honestly, the thought process of we want more cheap removal to kill Innkeeper makes me think that maybe I just want a full boat of deadweights in this matchup. Could definitely be the case. And someone earlier mentioned a sideboard guide, like what you should do to figure out if you want to make changes is go through your deck and make plans. Figure out what your sideboard plan is. Say, okay, how am I approaching each of these individual matchups? What are my ins and what are my outs? Do I need more cards against Goldspan Dragon's decks? What's my plan against an adventure deck? And like, before I play a tournament, I will go through and think through those sideboard guides, those sideboard plans to make sure my ins and outs line up and make sense. I make that a link? I feel like I made that a link. Yeah, there's a 3-minute YouTube video that explains my process for building and tuning sideboards. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a few minutes of your time. Well, Slitherwisp going to draw some cards next turn. Shit. Like, for example, Singer is the only card I want to draw in this position, right? Let's see if they fire up Faceless Haven or if they want to cleave. I think I'm keeping one of these. So I'm gonna go to 6 here. And there's a chance that if this was their best play last turn, it'll be their best play again this turn. And then I can flash the Shoreshark onto here to bounce it and block something. Sweet, they don't have a land either. It's like I get to... We get to do this. Onto here, draw a card. Over the top, so it gets bigger. Send this back to the Shadow Realm. Need to block here. Hey, thanks for the 25 months, Magical Caracal. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And then we're just passing here, right? Hey, Redbeard, thanks for the 16 months. This is where the stabilization happens, chat. Untapped land here is insane. Now, the scary part is my opponent has a minimum of 4 spells in their hand. I think I'm in for that, right? I think on their current amount of lands, that's good. I do wish they would have nerfed more stuff in the Runeterra patch today, yeah. You can find my full thoughts on it in my review video from yesterday. Oh, you know, I was probably supposed to do this first, huh? Okay, that's good to know that's on top, so I can play this and then draw into that, potentially. They can't cleave. They only have 3 mana. You are correct that I would have sequenced that turn differently if they had cleave mana available. Lazy Titan, thanks for the follow. Give me the cheat on the day. Hey, all the cheap removal in. What do we trim this matchup? Strokes are an easy out. I think we leave the couple of negates. Probably want to cut the Omens of the Sea. Yeah, I probably need to revisit. The sideboard, how I have it constructed here. I didn't rethink my board after I added Malakir Rebirth. Yeah, Disruption was very good that game. For sure. That being said, it might be right to cut Disruption on the draw here. We have 8, 13, 17. Probably trim at least 1. This is a spell isn't very good, but having it as a land can be important. It's probably like 1 Disruption, 1 Shoreshark. Easy mulligan here. Yeah. Yeah, just kill their first play here, I think. Pretty sure I wait on this so I can hold up Disruption / negate this turn. Pretty sure we just leave them the Hellhound. That one eventually runs out of attack points. Gotta just use my mana this turn. Need to draw some stuff here. So that does not qualify as a stuff. Probably did. We're scared, Jet. Scared. It's good, you should be. Eliminate. Eliminate. Yeah, space. It's been super reasonable. This is a good example of why you only want 2 negates post board in this matchup. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Discard your hand until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control with 2 power or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's sweet. 2/3 stat line's nice too. Definitely dead here. I don't think we're changing how we're sideboarded. Let's just like draw a little bit better. Need some more threats. Maybe I want to keep my Shoreshark in. Puts me at 25 lands. 25 lands probably is too low. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Removal spell, lands with all of our colors, card advantage. We have a Frostbite here, we're gonna be in trouble. I need to draw cards with this, so I can't block. Think we need to just tempo them with these for now. I don't think I can afford to just, like, play this and draw a card this turn and have that be my only play. Yeah, Slitherwisp not surviving Stomp feels real bad. Maybe we race with these, maybe. If you check the stream title, I was very nice and I put the format in the stream title. Although I've met Twitch chat, I can put the format on the stream in flashing lights, and it would probably get missed some amount of the time. Or neither. Yeah, what format would it be if it was neither? Because we have multiple copies of cards, so it's clearly not Brawl. No, there's plenty of rares in play, right? What flashing lights, Beck? You're supposed to play this out ahead of time. We've died. Yeah, being unable to get a source of card advantage online there was rough. The red matchup, I think, is definitely harder than the white matchup. The white matchup, notably, has a hard time taking Slitherwisp out of play, which is very helpful to us. The red matchup has a lot of ways to kill that card. It's fine. Play this on one. Morning Moose. Elves. Our best draw here is Slitherwisp. Our second best draw is Sea-Dasher. Seem very good. I guess they probably have some targets for it. Do I expect them to have more negate targets or more stroke targets? I feel like the answer is more negate targets. Build 3 cards, and you put an elf or a Tyvar card from your graveyard onto the battlefield. It just straight up reanimates the Planeswalker. Seems good. I should have waited until their end of turn to play this. They're gonna, like, play a fight spell and kill my Dirge Bat or something silly here. It's a 7 mana, right? So we're still 2 off of that. Allow me to sing you the song of my people. Let's say whenever a non-token elf or berserker you control dies. Alright, so I can block here, and they draw nothing. And take 4. Looking for something to mutate onto Dirge Bat this turn. Would be nice. Yeah, shark off the top would be great. Yikes. At 7. Okay, so what if we Slitherwisp? This blocks here, this blocks here, this jumps here, take 4, go to 3. Cost 7 to activate, right? Oh, they're killing my thing. That's rude. I'm gonna put a stop here so I can respond to my trigger with another spell. Wanted to see what we drew before I decided if I wanted to do this in response. Yeah, I'm obligated to block here, right? Then I go to 1. Man, that's rough. Yeah, I'll do it. Dead weight sounds great. Yeah, gotta cut a land. It's definitely the answer. Maybe an eliminate matchup. Maybe. Stroke seems kind of whatever. They have Lovestruck Beast, so like Negate can counter the adventure part on that. This is a Brazen Borrower out matchup. I think Singer's probably better than that. The bouncing on this doesn't seem particularly exciting, and it doesn't block profitably. I think I'd rather have Singer than that. Let's try this. Opponent's also on a bit of a bruise, so I'm not 100% sure what I want to be doing. Howdy Gab. And I'm bringing in 4 copies of Deadweight. So like... Ideally we'll find a second Mutate card in a quarter of our deck as well, and then like, you know, bats are removal also. That's what desperately needed, like an Octopus or even another Dirge Bat would have been great. Just like any of our other 9 Mutate cards that game would have allowed us to stabilize very reasonably. Needs to draw some land, but if it runs off a couple of those, the spells are all very good. And we theoretically have Singer plus, like, 4 of our 5 spells are castable even if we brick, right? And these two generate us some card advantage together. I killed the Mana Dork here. I'm gonna save Deadweight for down the line for a more resource efficient turn. If I draw a 3rd land tier, we could Deadweight plus another spell. I'm leaving that there. Not expecting them to be playing Deadbait, so I'm going to take the extra attack here. Get me right to bottom that and look for more cheap enablers for this. I just want to draw cards here, rather than hitting that. So if I kill this, I deny them the trigger of getting a 1/1, which makes them make less mana with this, which is ideal. I could be right to just get Dirge Bat down here, though, too.
Your courage is legendary.
Pup, 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 poker face, pup, pup, poker face, my. I've been trying to figure out what this deck is trying to do. I mean, you just described what the deck is trying to do. I applaud your ability to read my Magic the Gathering cards. It always makes me chuckle when people are like, well, what's the win con in this deck? And it's like, well, we attack. The win condition is attacking. Supposed to keep the land. The land lets me mutate the Dirge Bat onto the Dirge Bat next turn. Ooh, that's great. So with this in mind, I think I'd rather kill the Halvar here, right? We're gonna pass, and then we'll mutate the Octopus onto the Dirge Bat and kill the Halvar. A piece of removal deal.
They will remember our names together.
So I can attack this here, kill this, and then we can Pouncing Shoreshark onto here and, like, kill one, bounce one. I think we just passed, though, because they could activate this, and them activating this for the turn is good for us.
Who's got a foe for me to fight? There's enough glory for all of us.
Hey, SK Sean, thanks for the follow. Dean Winchester a couple of minutes ago. Watched an unhealthy amount of, what's it called? Okay, so this is the destroy trigger? Is that what this is? So we'll destroy you, and we'll bounce you. Take one. The first one in this instance is returned, so we'll go destroy, bounce.
This fight isn't worth it.
Yeah, Toski's a pretty good drop. If they find a removal spell for the Shoreshark, Toski could get them back into the game. Does not look like it. I have a favorite between Standard and Historic since I returned from the Uron bannings. I think I personally prefer Standard to Historic. I don't know that I'd call Historic necessarily a bad format, but it doesn't... The types of decks that I enjoy playing the most don't really seem to be very playable in Historic so far. There's a lot of, like, wacky and neat things you can do into that format, but, like, mid-range and small edges style decks don't seem to be particularly good there. Which is normal. Those types of decks tend to not be very good in Magic's non-rotating formats. Yeah, that's why the mutate is good in Victius, because it triggers all the things in the pile like that. You already got a new game today. You can have a new game tomorrow. Well, that's too bad. You got to be more careful which game you pick out. You get one new freemium game per day. Them's the rules. You know the rules. Okay. Sorry you picked a bad one today. My 5-year-old is a compulsive mobile game swapper, chat. He plays them for 30 seconds and then decides to move on with his tiny life. So he has a 1 new mobile game per day limit. To be fair, even if you were present in Magic during the Ikoria set, Mutate wasn't a particularly playable mechanic. It didn't stop us from playing it on this channel, but... in general, it wasn't very good. Looking for a Black Source. There's the Monkey Paw Black Source. I'm agreed. Nailed it. This is cute. Need to put a counter on it right away. Try and keep their 1/1 here. Stem the bleeding a little bit. Nice. Nice bricks. Final chapter here. Whenever an elf you control attacks, target creatures -1/-1 until the turn. It's gross. $7-10 here. Good draw. So we get to deadweight you. And then I get to play this as a black source. And I get to just kill both of these, right? So if I attack with this, they get to attack with these and kill this and hit me to 2. I get to draw 2 cards if I attack with this, though. I guess I can attack with both of these, then, since they're going to kill this anyways. Yeah, we kind of just get to race them here, right? Oh, I'm gonna die to Gem Razor. That's what's about to happen. Forgot they played that game one. You're probably dead to that anyways, though, right? Because, like, Dirge Bat would have had to chump block if they had Gem Razor. I could have been right to just, like, hold my 2 mutations here. All right, well, I'm glad I got my hit in. I think I'm doing this because I want to hold a counterspell up here. It could be right to go like Wisp into this and get the card advantage, but I think being able to hold various counterspells up here is better for me. Hey Iwan, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That is exactly what we wanted for Christmas, chat. Nope, don't want any of those. this deck just generates such incredibly satisfying games of Magic, just like super close games against basically everything. I don't feel like this deck, from playing it, I don't feel like this deck has any slam dunk matchups, but I also don't feel like it has any unwinnable matchups. How's the Rogues matchup? It's like, it feels bad because Rogues feels bad to play against, but you can definitely win. It's Jund. I mean, it's definitely a 50% deck. I actually think this deck has a much better Rogues matchup than most of the decks I've worked on stream to set a low bar. I don't know that I would say you're favored, but I don't think it's like you automatically concede. The fact that a lot of our cards play out at instant speed gives us a lot of sequencing decisions around their counter spells and removal spells, and we have a lot of cheap interaction with things like Dead Weight and Eliminate and Heartless Act as well, so. Yeah, I'm sure this is an awful deck for ladder grinding, because like, the games tend to be long. But they tend to be interesting and long, which is why I play Magic. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. I think I need to go over the ins and outs in my sideboarding plan to figure out exactly what the lineups are. The Teamer Adventures matchup, notably, it did not feel like I had a good plan for, so I need to think through what exactly I want to be doing there and make sure my sideboard is built in a way that makes sense. The Malakir Rebirth was the most recent addition to the deck, and I think I'm happy with the 2 copies of that. Getting up to 26 virtual lands feels really good, and the utility of this in the removal heavy matchups is super strong. Have we played this in Historic? No. I don't think decks that are interactive like this tend to be very good in Historic. Historic tends to be a very linear format. It feels like if you want to be interactive in Historic, you need to be interactive to an extreme. So something like the Jeskai control deck that we've played, you need to be going like really big, hard control. These kind of like mid-rangey decks, none of them have felt good to me there. I guess that's not strictly true. Rakdos Arcanist Pyromancer is reasonable, but that's just because Claim the Firstborn is busted and lets you do really powerful things. I don't think a lot of the other things that you're doing, like something like this, I don't think the power level, like if you look at like what flash cards you gain from Historic, the only upgrades this deck really gets is like better mana. You get to play like Watery Grave instead of Temple of Deceit. All right, I think I'm happy with this for the day. I think I'm gonna figure out. Sure, Disfigure is a very small upgrade though over Deadweight. You are correct that technically is a change. The aggro decks also get better in Historic is like a real thing though. I guess you get Spectral Sailor in Historic. All right, maybe we'll try this in Historic at some point. Spectral Sailor is actually like subtly a huge upgrade. That card's really good. All right, what are we doing next? Speaking of Historic, let's play some Historic. I do want to play more Standard. Do more Standard tomorrow. Maybe I want to play some Historic. Deck voting. That sounds like a good idea. I'll let chat vote. All right, what deck next? Standard Runestorm or Historic Teamer Tower. All right, you have three minutes to vote. Oh, Brineborn Cutthroat, you technically get. I guess that one's not evasive. I guess not all the threats in that deck are evasive. Yeah, maybe it's worth exploring in Historic. Let's see. What's Teamer Tower? Teamer Tower is an energy deck. Tower is Dynavolt Tower. Remember when I said crappy control decks are okay in Historic? This is what I meant by Teamer Tower. And Runestorm's the standard deck we had played last week. How do you vote? It's in your Twitch chat. All Can vote a little bit extra with channel points or bits. I mean, the Temur Tower deck's probably fine. Man, two options. It's like asking Christy what she wants for dinner. Nobody knows what they want. Okay, I blew all my channel points. Thanks everybody for hanging out this morning, by the way. Great to see 900 people in here. We're going to be doing Magic for, I don't know, another 3-4 hours or so. Then Runeterra is releasing their new set today that has 80 new cards. So we're going to be playing some of that this afternoon. If you enjoy my content, you want an easy way to support it, the first hour of my Runeterra stream this afternoon is going to be sponsored by the Twitch Bounty Board. So if you just hang out for the first hour of that would be great. Helps me out. Yeah, at that point, you're a different deck, Charizard. Is it 80? I thought it was 110. Somebody in chat said it was only 110 with the various created cards. Do you have a source on it being 110? It's 80. I thought it was 80 collectible cards. Is it 110 collectible cards? We're going to go long today because of Runeterra. It depends on what the viewer count looks like. The voting is basically neck and neck. 585, 593, 607, 593. Oh, Historic's pulling ahead here. Is it 110 collectible cards? I don't actually know. The last set 3 was 80, 40, 40. Roughly what time is that? Noon 30 cornfield time. So about 3 hours from now. 3.5 hours from now. Man, this is gonna come down to the wire. It's gonna be within a couple of votes. They're just like trading blows back and forth here. One's ahead, and then the other's ahead. Temur Tower's up. Beansy with the 690 bits, and Kremple with the 55,500 channel points. Historic Temur Tower by the narrowest of margins. Remember, chat, being a good member of democracy means being a good loser. And what does being a good loser mean, chat? It means no coups because you lost. No coups. Okay? Thank you. All right, what are we doing? It's Thanks for the bits, Beansy. I promise we're gonna get to standard Runestorm. I'm probably gonna play that this weekend. We're just not playing it right now. Tomorrow or Friday, we'll play some Runestorm. Can I spend my next 4 years insisting Runestorm actually won? Yes, I would encourage you to wear a Runestorm hat and t-shirts, maybe get a yard sign and leave it up too. All right.